is going on, everyone? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice, because that is my nickname. So the Baltimore Ravens took the league by storm this past year. They went 14-2. They had a high-powered offense. Lamar Jackson was the second ever unanimous MVP, and it was well-deserved, man. Lamar Jackson was one of the best quarterbacks in the game of football last year, was arguably the best quarterback in football in the regular season, and that's why he won MVP. It was well-deserved, in my opinion. The leap that Lamar Jackson took from his rookie season to his sophomore season was tremendous. This guy went from barely being able to throw the ball 20 times a game to winning MVP. That's very, very impressive. Lamar Jackson, in my eyes, is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football right now. He's a great runner of the football. He's the best running quarterback in the NFL, and he just led the league in touchdown passes. And I still do believe that he can get better as a passer. That's scary. You just led the league in touchdown passes, and you can get better as a thrower? The sky's the limit for Lamar Jackson and this Ravens offense, man. And the Ravens, I do believe they're young. They have a very good defense that I feel good about. The secondary is immaculate. Defensive line improved by adding Calais Campbell this offseason. Again, I already raved about the offense. I mean, to me, the 2 clear-cut best teams in the AFC are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Buffalo Bills may have something to say about that as the season weighs on next year, but right now, I gotta say the Ravens and the Chiefs are the 2 best teams in the AFC. However, the ending to the Ravens season did not go so well. They lost at home in the divisional round to the Tennessee Titans, 28-12. And look, the Ravens have a bright future. Like I said, I really love their roster. They've got the parts to win a Super Bowl right now. But if they want to take that next leap and really get over the hump and knock off the team to beat in the AFC, which is the Kansas City Chiefs, they need to add to their wide receiver core. They must draft a legit #1 wide receiver in this draft, in my opinion. Now, I will say the Ravens, they have been linked to potentially picking Patrick Queen or Kenneth Murray or Ross Blacklock. Kenneth Murray and Patrick Queen are the 2 best middle linebackers in this draft, and Ross Blacklock is the 3rd best D tackle in this draft, in my opinion, behind Derrick Brown and Javon Kinlaw. Very talented players, I will say. But I will say that if I'm the Ravens, I think I got to push getting help on defense to the 2nd or 3rd round. I truly believe the Ravens need to spend some draft capital on a legit #1 wide receiver. And at the number 28 overall pick, I believe that they should take Denzel Mims, the wide receiver out of Baylor. I believe he's the perfect fit for the Baltimore Ravens, and I truly believe that he has a chance to become the best wide receiver from the 2020 NFL draft class. Now, there are some wide receivers I feel a little bit more good about as prospects, but the sky is the limit for Denzel Mims, man. And the takeaway I had from that Tennessee Titans game versus the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, in which the Ravens got blown out and embarrassed at home, was the Ravens cannot ignore their issues at the wide receiver position. Now, they did draft Marquise Hollywood-Brown last year. Marquise Hollywood-Brown showed a lot of promise as a rookie. And quite frankly, I think he's a capable #1 wide receiver, but I think that he's a lower-end #1 wide receiver. I would feel so much better with Marquise Hollywood-Brown being my #2 option. And let's say the Ravens don't draft a wide receiver, to come in and start. I do believe they'll draft a wide receiver at some point, but let's say next year that Hollywood-Brown is their #1 option. Well, guess what? Your #2 option is Willie Snead, okay? And he had 339 yards last year. I'm sorry, but when your two best wide receivers are Marquise Hollywood-Brown and Willie Snead, that's not going to get it done. Now, Mark Andrews is great. He's a great tight end. He's one of the 3 best tight ends in all of football right now. To me, it's George Kittle, it's, Travis Kelce, then probably Mark Andrews, He's excellent, but you need more than just a tight end. You need a true outside threat at the wide receiver position and a guy that can get open on 3rd and long. I'm talking 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and 3rd and 10. The Ravens, they just don't quite have that guy, and they will always fall short, I believe, if they don't get a true #1 wide receiver. I believe Denzel Mims can be that guy. This guy is great at getting jump balls down the field. He's great at getting contested catches. He's just a physically super gifted wide receiver. This guy is 6'3", 210 pounds, ran the 40-yard dash in 4.38 seconds, had a 38.5-inch vertical at the combine. And this guy, to me, has a chance to be the best wide receiver in this draft class. Now, I'm going to say right now that I'm not going to bet on that, but he has that potential. He can be a true number one wide receiver, and he is exactly what the Baltimore Ravens are looking for. Lamar Jackson does not have a guy that he can just throw the ball up to and make him look better than he actually is. He does not have a true dominant red zone threat that he can go to at the wide receiver position. Again, Mark Andrews is great, but you need a guy that can win one-on-one matchups versus number one corners on the outside, down the sideline, that can work, back shoulder fades, that can get contested balls downfield. And I believe Denzel Mims can be that guy. I just believe he's a perfect fit for the Baltimore Ravens offense. You'd have Denzel Mims to come right in there and work the sideline, get those jump balls, get those contested catches. Then you could have Marquise Hollywood-Brown as your number 2 option. He'd take advantage of, the number 2 and number 3 cornerbacks. You can move them around a lot more. It would be so much harder for teams to marginalize Marquise Hollywood-Brown. He could burn those defensive backs and get downfield and create bigger plays. And then you got Mark Andrews to work the middle of the field and work up the seam. That's a scary sight right there. Denzel Mims, Marquise Hollywood-Brown, and Mark Andrews. As of right now, you got Mark Andrews, Hollywood-Brown, and Willie Snead as your next best wide receiving option. And no disrespect to Willie Snead, but I just don't think he's getting it done. The Ravens dropped a ton of passes in that game versus the Titans. They let Lamar Jackson down, and they could not at times win one-on-one matchups down the field versus very good man coverage in the playoffs. That's going to show once again if the Ravens do not get these things shored up. And again, you're trying to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You're trying to knock them off. They're the team to beat in the AFC. You got to have mad weapons to be able to respond to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, because let's be real, I don't care how great of a defense you have. The 49ers had a great defense, and Patrick Mahomes still found a way to score over 30 points in the Super Bowl versus them, and he didn't even play well for half the game, okay? So you need to be able to win a track meet with the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do that eventually. And I think the Ravens' defense is very good. The secondary is able to match up with the Chiefs. But again, I think the Ravens need a true, legit number one wide receiver. Now, if I had to bet on the Ravens potentially drafting Denzel Mims, if you put a gun to my head and ask me, are they going to do this? Probably not, because the Ravens, they're just not known for going after wide receivers in the first round. Now, they did do it last year with Hollywood-Brown, but that's what they absolutely need to do. They don't necessarily need to draft a wide receiver in the first round, but I think they should do it. I really do. I think that Denzel Mims is just a perfect fit for this Ravens offense. He would fit right in. And like I said, the guy can even run block too. The Ravens love to run the ball. He will contribute in that regard too by run blocking. And again, you could take Patrick Queen. You could take Kenneth Murray or Ross Blacklock to help you out your defense. But the defense was already top 5 last year. I believe you can get a very solid defensive tackle, very solid middle linebacker in the 2nd or 3rd round. And you can do the same with the wide receivers, because this wide receiver class is one of the deepest wide receiver classes in decades. But I truly believe that the Ravens need to go out and get Lamar Jackson, a true number one wide receiver. And I believe Denzel Mims is that guy. And I do believe he's the perfect fit for the Ravens offense. And if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I would draft Denzel Mims. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.